Starting the recording.
What's up, bitches? It's another episode of World 1-1 Podcast. I am your host, Larry the Bearded and woefully exhausted wonder. With me, as always, is my partner in crime, Eddie the Blackinator V.
I watched none of the Super Bowl. I
didn't either. Dude, I was totally jamming for Sunday when we were supposed to record, and apparently I just suddenly died 5 minutes before we were gonna record. So that's entirely on me, for the record, that we're fucking late this week. No shit, we had plans to lay it down at 9:30, and apparently at 9:25 I died, and I didn't wake up again until 1:30 in the morning, and I've got a bunch of missed messages from Corey and Eddie, and I'm like, well, shit. So, but I was totally ready for it because, dude, I had on my sports t-shirt. You've seen it. It's big block lettering and it just says sports.
Right.
I sports ball the most. Sports ball is my favorite sports.
Sports.
My sports team is better than your sports team. I don't know what's happening, but our sports is the best.
I heard the halftime was a mess.
I don't know. I don't give a shit. I don't know that it could be inherently any stupider than last year's.
Oh, everybody loved the Gaga ones.
Oh, dude, last year's was the dumbest. I still distinctly remember that at the end, she's just like, Super Bowl 51!
Yeah. And hey, people still loved it. People love Gaga.
I fucking cracked up seeing memories on Facebook from a year ago from last year's Super Bowl shit, and I'm like, oh yeah, because I had one pop up. It's like, why do all the backup dancers look like they're having a fucking seizure?
Shoot, I it was just it's seeing someone posted on Twitter on their page that people who were in the stadium, in the seats and stuff, it was quiet. Only people who cared about Justin Timberlake singing was the crowd that was in front of him on the field. That was it. I was just like, yikes. Well, so.
I've got nothing against Justin Timberlake personally.
I don't.
I'm sure his music is just fine for somebody. I'm just sitting here going, at this point, for the halftime show, do they just look at who was popular somewhere between 5 and 10 years ago and go, book them?
Well, I think people says it would have been better to bring Bruno Mars out. And then they was just
seriously, he's at least almost contemporary at this point.
It was weird because it was just how do you do a modern Super Bowl? Does it have to be always fun? Or
here's how you do an appropriate halftime show. Find somebody that's charting in the Billboard top 10 at the moment and go, you're up. It's not hard.
Well,
seriously.
I think with Justin Timberlake, he has a lot of hits, and because his new album had came out, which is weird. He should have been trying to market some of the stuff from his newest album. I mean,
but at this point, I'm sure nobody fucking knows it, and that's the problem.
Well, they've been advertising it all last week, and he got 2 singles out. So it's not like people don't know that his album was out. And then he was just I
didn't know.
Well, he was on the radio on Southern pop radio stations, or I know a lot of radio stations around here. iHeartRadio is connected with all of them here in the Chicago area, and they were just if you download the app, you'll be able to check out my album for free and stuff like that. So they've been promoting it, but they were just like, when it actually came time to do it, it was just like, well, I guess he did like 2 songs that's out right now, and then everything else has been from his first and second album. And I think barely anything for the 2020. And then he did the Troll soundtrack, and then a Prince tribute, and it was just like, okay, you have enough hits on your albums to even do a medley. And I think because him not having the rest of NSYNC and Janet Jackson, everybody was just like, no, this wasn't good. So they were trashing it. But like I said, I didn't watch it. So
Honestly, I think the last time I enjoyed a Super Bowl halftime show was when Prince was on.
yeah,
Like,
Yahoo
that was a fucking performance.
Yahoo did a list
Like,
of it,
ranked the all-time greatest halftime shows.
and he was like number 1.
Fucking better, be.
I didn't watch the Prince one. I didn't even remember
Oh,
that
dude,
Prince did.
go fucking YouTube it. The Prince one was phenomenal.
What year was it though?
I don't even remember anymore. I just know it was
up.
awesome. And the world is a sadder place because that man is dead. Him and his, what I can only imagine is just he lounges around in a purple velour tracksuit.
When I heard that he passed away, that was the most oddest thing. I'm like, wait, he was just coming out with an album. What the heck is he dead for? In fact, he just did a concert.
Yeah, it doesn't stop anybody from dying.
Nope.
So, anyways, Eddie, what in the flying fuck nuts have you been playing?
Well, I installed Monster Hunter World for PS4 and have not started it yet. But Switch,
You mean Medieval Fantasy Star Online?
Wow. No, that's not true. There's a better description for it. Don't get me started on Fantasy Star Online. I really want to see how that does in Japan when 2 comes out.
I really want to see how it does in the fucking States, aka bring it to the goddamn States, you twats.
We have to see what happens in Japan first.
I don't have to anything. I fucking want it.
You're not going to
We've
get it
been
yet.
promised Blue Burst getting an English version
Look,
for like a
we got
decade.
too much other stuff that we got to worry about for games. Okay? We're still trying to figure out what the next Nintendo Direct is. We try to get that Metroid Prime look for us.
That's not happening till E3. Let it go. No, the next Nintendo Direct needs to be Phantasy Star Online 2 coming to the States.
Well, shoot, we still got to get.
No, what is it? Phantasy Star Online Cloud 2, I think it is, because Phantasy Star Online 2 was
It's something
there
like
was
that.
Episode 2, and then there was Episode 3, which was the weird like cardboard game thing.
But see, that's what. I gotta look at the episode series because I'm just like, why did they call it episodes? I thought it was just like Fantasy Star Online, Fantasy Star Online 2, and then 3 was the card battle. Like
That's basically what it was, but instead of just saying 1, 2, and 3, it was Episode 1, Episode 2, Episode 3.
But you know what? They never called the first one episode. I think one.
Yeah,
and 2
they didn't start calling it episode. I think until the GameCube one, where it came packed Episode 1 and Episode 2 together on the GameCube.
Okay, because 3 was the card one.
Yep,
and I think it was supposed to stand for something, but
it did, and I don't remember what it was, and I don't particularly care. Like, it wasn't bad. I just didn't give a shit because I was busy playing PSO on my GameCube online, and that's what I wanted more of.
Yeah.
And then they did whatever the fuck they did with Episode 3.
Well, for Switch, Grace for Explosion Machine, on the final world, just gotta beat those last 9 stages. I actually, everything is unlocked. Majority for the first 3 planets, like even the warp one. So I just gotta finish like the last 9, and then I'm finished with that game.
Yeah, that last the warp one on the 3rd planet is a fucking bitch.
You know what? It
Dude, I
could
had a
be.
bear of a time with that.
It could be. It takes a while. But I just like, I kind of stayed like almost in one place and let them come to me. It's just like dodge left and right and just like kill.
Dude, I tried everything with that and kept getting my ass kicked.
Shoot. That, I'm starting to use like the missiles more. And the
Yeah.
dash and
No,
stuff.
the missiles are great when you get the right configuration.
Yeah. I mean, it's because like I'm so used to using the sword to like make a big circle, like so I can have clear space.
The sword's great when you're getting swarmed on all sides.
Yeah, and see, and
The
that's
the
what I
missiles
use
are
them.
great when you got a whole herd of them coming at you from one direction.
Yeah, yeah. Because I don't even like really use the sniper beam unless I got like time to use it. Like
The sniper's good for one thing and one thing only, and that's just for clearing out like the damage sponge enemies. That's it. That's all it's designed for. That game is literally all about right tool for the right job.
Yes, and dodging now.
Yep.
But Lost Sphere I've been playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
How is Lost Sphere?
It's getting good. It's really getting good.
I've heard a whole lot of on it, and it really kind of put me off it.
I think it's because of it feels like Ion Setsuna, and some of the stuff that they fixed in problems that they had in that game they fixed in this one. But it's kind of weird because you don't really it feels like you don't really get a chance to like grind and level up. It's just like you get to an area, then there's a cutscene, and then you gotta fight.
Does it really need the grinding though? Like, are you ever grossly underpowered?
I mean, yeah, you kind of do need to, because of not being able, because of other parts of the world is taken out. You gotta kind of fight a boss to get that memory back, to get that part of the town, so you can get get some upgrades and stuff. And if you're not powered up or positioned well, you could end up dying and stuff. Or if you don't have enough money bought for like to like, you know, like Phoenix Downs and stuff like that, to get you back up. So
your mom went Phoenix down on me.
Oh wow. But that's what I've been playing for kind of for Switch. But I did pick up Iconoclast for PS4.
Yeah?
It is a must.
Really?
I think definitely you would like it. It's a mix of Shantae, Metal Slug, and Metroid put together. And it's more Metroid as in you getting new powers, to find different areas with some good comedy and good writing.
It's about like the mobility upgrades.
Yeah. Thing about it is that you don't get no upgrade for your energy. So, pretty much where your energy is at, that's it. That's whatever you start off with the game, and your energy is what you always will have. Now there is you can kind of get up some materials and go to a crafting station and get something that will stop you from taking one bit of damage, but it doesn't. Once it is used up, then it starts taking off more energy and stuff. I'm playing it on normal right now. There is no ducking. Like a morph ball. I mean, you can't.
There's like no crouch. There's no.
Yeah, you can't crouch.
Get one tile big.
Yeah, because you could crouch and walk through tiny holes and stuff. You could do that. But you can't like duck and drop a bomb and then move out the way, or you can't do none of that. Your gun that you kind of ends up having different powers. So, you'll have like a normal stun gun, and then when you charge it up, you'll have a bigger shot, but it has a cooldown time on it. And it really is a great game. Now, I will say that it's a game that I don't see come to Nintendo Switch But in the future, if someone wants to, it's like the Axiom Verge kind of thing. If someone wants to help this person port it to the Switch, like a company and stuff, that would be cool. It is $20 on PS4. It really is good, and it deals with religion and some other things.
Oh, so it's a comedy.
It has some comedic elements in it. I know you're trying to make a joke about the religious stuff, but there is comedy. It deals with religion as in they use it as another reason to do what they do, to be destructive. So it's
fairly faithful to the source material of religion then.
well, not really.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure anybody that was killed in the Crusades might argue with you.
Well, that's completely different. Like this one don't have anything to do like with Crusades and stuff like that.
I'm being facetious here,
I
sort
know.
of.
When it comes to me with religion and you, before I come back down there and poke you back in your stomach.
Yeah.
After I get you some chicken and we play like the Metroid games, which we still need to do that recap for the other games.
We did all of them.
No, we did not.
Yes, we did.
No, we didn't. We did.
I swear to Christ, we did.
No, because
if I have to go back through and listen through shit so I can point it out to you, I'm gonna be really mad.
And we were supposed, because we didn't do we didn't go all the way to the future games. Like we stopped at Metroid Prime.
We went through everything that was out. I swear to God.
Right,
which means the only thing we didn't do at that point was Samus Returns because it wasn't out.
Well, yeah, but we didn't even do Return of Samus.
Yeah, we did.
No, we didn't. We did the console stuff.
We did all of it. Like I did everything in order.
No, we didn't do all of it because we didn't do other. Well, exactly. We had to go back and talk about it because there's some Metroid games that we didn't go through, that we didn't have a full discussion of. But we did have a discussion of, like, the console ones.
I swear to you, I'm going to go back through and I'm going to find it and I'm going to be like, here, see all of it.
Well, you do that. Would you get strength to do that?
Yeah, no kidding. Because let me tell you this week. Let me tell you what I played this week. I played, let's see, what's an apt, I played Super Dental Work today, this week.
Super Dental RPG.
Yeah, that's the one. Motherfucker, dude. Monday sucked so much ass. I was already not feeling great on Monday, and I came home to lay out on the inversion table, try and get my back straightened out, and went upstairs to go get some food before I went back to work, took a bite of something, and holy shit, dude, my mouth lights up like a fucking Christmas tree. So I go to the walk-in dentist to find out, like, seriously, what the fuck is going on here? And they're like, you better strap in. You're getting a pair of root canals today. I'm like, oh, fuck me running. But I spent about an hour and a half in the waiting room with my Switch. So I sat and played some stuff for a while I was in excruciating pain. I spent some time on Monday. I went back and I started fiddling around with Tiny Barbarian again, actually.
Ooh, nice.
Made a little bit more progress on that. That still continues to kick my ass because it is just fucking beautifully brutal.
Dude, I think the point that I left with playing Master, because I bought Blaster Master Zero, the point that I left it on your Switch is now where I'm at on my Switch. So now I got to continue on that. Because I still need to start It'll Do. Speaking of Nicholas games.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I loved going back to Tiny Barbarian. Like I said, it still kicks my ass, just mercilessly, but not unfairly.
Yes.
I will give it that. That game is brutal, but it is not unfair in any way, shape, or form.
Why is it every time I just see that box art, I keep thinking of Joe and Mac?
It is a little reminiscent of that. I could totally fucking see that.
Oh,
Actually,
I could see. Nicholas
that's
needs to.
legit.
If Nicholas could get the rights to that game and just like redo it for Switch, I'll be like, yes, you guys already got the artwork to do it.
So, but I did make some actual progress on that. I got through another section or two. I'm still stuck in the same chapter, but um, and God, the honestly, my favorite thing about playing that game anymore is just listening to the music.
Mhm.
That music is so fucking good. Oh my God. I know it's a little salty, but seriously, go buy the soundtrack for that thing.
Do
It's
they have it available to buy?
yeah, it's on it's either Bandcamp or SoundCloud somewhere. Like I said, I know the price on it's a little salty, but
Mm.
like no shit, there is just hours and hours of music in that soundtrack,
I wonder.
especially for the DX version. It's like 37 fucking tracks.
I wonder if.
Like it is long.
I wonder if now, like video games now, like indie games are like putting out soundtracks more when when the game releases. It's kind of come a little bit prevalent because I don't know if Nicholas has done it with all of their games yet or all the games that has been released. But a lot of people are like digging a lot of the indie soundtracks.
Well, I know the first run of Cave Story for the Switch
Hmm.
came with like the soundtrack on a mini disc, so it would fit inside the Switch case. But I mean, there was at least like an actual physical hard copy of the soundtrack in the box.
Oh, nice.
So, but I mean, obviously it means you can't play it in a vacuum load, which means no putting it in your car stereo.
Oh
But
no.
stick it in your stick it in your PC and rip it to an MP3.
Or
But in
put it
any
on a
case,
CD and then put the
yeah,
CD in the car.
you know, I mean, at this point, I've got two copies of the soundtrack for Axiom Verge between the PC version that I bought in that
Uh-huh.
beautiful steelbook case and the Switch version. Um, the special edition came with a copy of the soundtrack as well.
Yeah.
So I've got two different copies of that, which, um, you know, it's a phenomenal soundtrack. It really is.
Yeah,
Um,
that Switch version, like, brought in a lot of money. Like a lot of picked that version up.
oh, I
Yeah.
don't doubt it. I've got a friend that was specifically waiting for the multiverse edition to
Uh,
come out to buy into it again.
yeah, and a lot of
Um,
people picked that version up, the multi one, the multi one.
yeah, the multiverse, yeah. I mean, it's a nice package. It really is. I will say, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again because I've kind of got an itching to go back and rewatch it. But
Mm-hmm.
I was actually really disappointed with the making of part of the documentary that was in there. But that being said, I felt it was totally made up for by the Let's Play that was on the Blu-ray on there. The Let's Play through the game just totally picked up, had everything that I wanted the making of to
Yeah.
have in it, and didn't. Um, the Let's Play, and I'm sure I've touched on this when it first came out, but the Let's Play has some really cool stuff. Like you hear a lot of the like the lore that Tom wrote for the game
Yeah.
that never actually made it into the game, but it exists somewhere, like either in his head or in a notebook somewhere. And so knowing this, playing through the game suddenly becomes a richer experience because you know this cool little shit about the game that, you don't get by just playing the game. But it's relevant to the universe that you're in. And that's fucking cool.
I know people have been making. There's like on YouTube. There's like theories of the story and like part of its conclusion, which I think is cool. That people
Yeah, I mean
have.
he touched on most of that. Like there's one piece in particular that there's been a bunch of speculation about that he wouldn't confirm.
Mm-hmm.
the details behind it, and that's the wheelchair. But a lot of the rest of it, including the ending, he does speak to. So, for anybody that really wants a definitive answer on a lot of the speculative stuff,
Mm-hmm.
watch the Let's Play that's in the Multiverse Edition.
I wonder if he really wants to do part two.
I don't know that it needs it, honestly. Like, I'd
I,
be interested to see what else he does,
I
but
think the way that he left it, I think that's probably going to be a discussion we'll have one day. It's just like when people leave a game somewhat open ended, but it's just better to give I feel like, to me personally, I feel like give me a conclusion and let that
there
conclusion
there
let me.
is. Like, if you watch that Let's Play,
Mm-hmm.
what you're thinking is open ended. When you hear it laid out from him, it's way more of a closed loop than you think. Like, there is a logical conclusion there that just closes the loop completely.
Well, some people think that don't really want to spoil it in. Some people think that the main character is trying to do something else to see the world again. So,
He is, but if you get the appropriate ending,
mm-hmm.
that loop closes.
Okay.
So, because there is a deeper ending that will close that loop. So,
But
yes,
that's
he
only through
tries
his
to get.
discussion.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's there in the game. Like, if you get the correct ending, you will see that loop close.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Well,
it is not as open ended as you think.
I think for some games, I just like a final conclusion to them.
It's there.
Just not speaking about Axiom Verge, but just in games in general, because it's just like sometimes a series is not guaranteed to get a sequel.
Yeah.
So we don't know if there's going to be a actual conclusion at the end of the game, or if it's going to be left open to be promised a sequel. It's never guaranteed, because
Here's
don't forget, during a lot of the probably with the GameCube and PS2 days, like definitely with the 360 and PS3 and even Wii days, is that you'll get a game, you'll beat it, and it was left open for a sequel to happen, and the sequel never happened because that studio got closed or something.
Advent Rising.
Prime example, and that happened a lot to some games. Just be like, no, I need a conclusion to this, or I need some stuff figured out. This actually happened to me personally with Metroid Other M, and I know it kind of, some of it didn't get like
No, there
fully
there was a
explored.
resolution to everything in that game. You just had to work some of it out because it didn't spell all of it out.
Well, it didn't spell all of it out, but because of Metroid Other M and how Metroid Fusion kind of connects each other during that time.
That's the thing. The two of them really don't connect.
But
Like,
the way
they're
that it was released,
chronologically, they're, one after the other, but in terms of content, they don't really connect other than the fact that there's one of the bosses from Fusion in Other M, which is a little ass backwards because it's like, wait a minute, you got introduced here. Why are you even here? But
well,
it's
the way that it was, because I think Other M was out before Fusion, I think, or is it vice versa?
no, Fusion was out long before Other M.
Okay, because I thought they came out in the same year for some
Oh
reason.
hell no, dude. Fusion was like early 2000s.
And then I wonder, why did it? Then why did it? Was it a re-release or something? Meaning,
No.
that because people started talking about Fusion again, or maybe it was just me playing it again.
I'm thinking it's just you.
You want to know that's why it's because Fusion was on Wii U. And
Yeah,
even though
yeah,
Metroid
it
even though
hit Virtual Console.
right, and even though Metroid Other M out was on Wii, I think once it dropped on Wii U Virtual Console, that's when to me that connection and people started discussing it started happening.
But that's like I said, there's really no tangible story connection between Other M and
Mm-hmm.
Fusion. It's not there.
It was just
So
that Fusion.
Fusion just chronologically happened to be the next game in the series.
And then that's where, because I guess Fusion is the current one. It's like the actual
Fusion is,
last.
yep.
And then Other M
Honestly,
is like
Samus
further.
Returns has a better connection to Fusion than Other M does.
Uh, Return of Samus or Samus Returns? The
Samus
remake.
Returns.
The remake.
Yeah.
Mm,
The one that came out just this past September, Samus Returns, has a stronger connection to Fusion than Other M.
see, I find that weird.
No, because again, Samus Returns takes place on SR388, and Fusion takes place on the BSL station that's orbiting SR388.
I'm thinking,
Because SR388 is where the X parasites came from.
but her commander is still alive, except during Samus Return.
Yeah, at that point, yes. Malkovich dies in Other M.
Oh yeah, because he shuts it off, and that's why the connection to Fusion comes in was because of that part.
Yeah, I mean that, and even that's not that important, honestly. It just that was such a waste of everything.
Well, it was. I think it was because of we never like we talked before that we never got a backstory to Samus, like a real detailed backstory. Because it was
Oh,
just
there
like
was plenty
after.
of it. You
Well,
got to dig for it in the mangas, but yeah, it's there.
even with the mangas, that all of that changed. Because the manga or the one that was in Nintendo Power kind of led to the beginning of Metroid, and then somehow they tried to move Super Metroid into it. But Return of Samus had happened, and then it was like Super Metroid. And I think when Super Metroid came, they were trying to give it a comic.
Yeah. Anyways, so aside from playing Tiny Barbarian, since we've been talking about it, actually, I also spent some of the time in the waiting room trolling around through Axiom Verge, just not to accomplish anything other than I was just kind of wandering through trying to find some of the secret world rooms
Mm-hmm.
because I shit you not, and it super pisses me off now. Um, when I was playing through it when it first hit Switch, I found one of the secret world rooms, but I didn't realize that's what the fuck it was at the time, and I thought I had a bad connection on my HDMI cable
Wow.
because the giveaway that you're in one of the rooms that has one of the an access to a secret world, because the secret worlds will randomly uh, spawn in different areas every time you boot up a new game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, is that you'll see like scan lines on the screen like it's like you're looking at an old CRT
Yeah.
TV. And so I didn't realize that's what was going on at the time. And so I'm sitting there fucking with my HDMI cable trying to fix it, not realizing that, oh, hey, I'm at a cool place and I should totally look for the cool thing. So I've been wandering around again trying to remember where the fuck I saw it, and now I can't remember. So I'm just
It's
wandering.
Did you get a gun? Are you supposed to get a super gun, a special gun?
Yeah, there's like one of 5 different weapons that crop up randomly in the secret world. Um, and it's always something ridiculously overpowered. So, um, oh, that's one of the other cool things too that was in the Let's Play, is that Tom made mention of something that apparently some people had been trying to figure out the rhyme and reason behind that. In one of the sequences where Trace is hallucinating, and one of the guns gets like overpowered, like super bizarre.
Uh-huh.
That there is actually a rhyme and reason to which gun. It's dependent on what position or the weapons are in. So it's always going to be the weapon, and I think in like the 6th position. So depending on what order you find the weapons
Yeah.
determines which one gets like super powered
Oh.
for that hallucination scene.
Oh
So
wow.
there's a nifty fun fact for you. So,
Wow.
but again, apparently Tom was saying that he'd done some looking, and apparently nobody had managed to figure out the rhyme and reason behind it. There's an actual intentional, you know, this is how to determine which one will be all wonky.
But that's for the special guns. That's not the guns that
No, no, no,
you.
no, no. There's a section of the game where Trace is hallucinating, and
Oh, okay.
whatever weapon you have in the 6th position, that weapon gets overpowered
Okay. Because I was just
just
thinking
for
of.
that scene.
Because I was just thinking of. Is it during the way that you get the guns during a linear fashion during the story?
Right, because you won't, depending on how you go about it, you may not necessarily find, you can find different guns and you can pick them up in different orders.
Yeah.
So, um, but there's also a very intentional reference to the original Pokemon in Axiom Verge. One of the enemies, when you glitch it, is intentionally made to look like Missing No.
Oh wow.
And I remember looking at it going, that kind of reminds me of, and I was watching it and he made mention of like, no shit, I was right. That's cool. So, because again, it's a reference to, glitching games. And so, Missing No was a glitch in the original Pokemon, and the glitched version of that particular enemy is made to look like Missing No, which was a glitch. So, I thought that was kind of neat.
Hmm,
So, like I
cool.
said, mad props to the Let's Play because that thing was totally worth it.
Is it
Even
the
if
whole game?
they go through there's a few snippets that I think they cut out, but yeah, for the most part, they went through almost all of it.
Okay.
So, that was fucking cool. It totally makes it worth the buy, honestly. It does. So I mean, if you can still get your hands on a copy of the Multiverse Edition, do it. It's worth it for the Let's Play. Not to mention, if you don't already have a copy of the soundtrack is
It's
just
good.
fucking spectacular.
I still need to
Um,
beat it on PS4. I haven't beaten it yet.
but what else have I been playing? I've been playing the Switch port of SteamWorld Dig, the original.
Hmm.
I'm still perfectly happy to go back to it, but I still feel like I like it the best on my 3DS. The Switch port makes a couple of modifications. One of which I like is that you can see how many of a particular ore you can stack in an inventory slot on the Switch version.
Uh-huh.
The trade-off, though, is that the map is super zoomed out and it makes it far less useful. Like, honestly, half the time I'm playing on my 3DS, I'm playing SteamWorld Dig watching the map and not the actual action screen.
At the top.
Just because I know what's going on just by looking at the map. So, um, but I can't do that on the Switch version because it's so pulled out, because it's relegated just to a little panel in the corner versus having a whole screen dedicated. Um, Overall, it's still worth it. That being said, I need to vent on a SteamWorld issue here. Just announced SteamWorld Dig 2 is getting a hard copy release on Switch coming this spring. Which, hooray, that's well and good. But seriously, given the size of that game, the size of the original, and the size of Heist, there is no way in fucking hell they could not put all three of those on an anthology and on a single cartridge. There is no way.
Why not?
Seriously, why could they're putting out SteamWorld Dig 2 hard copy by itself? Why the fuck did you not put all three games on one cartridge?
Probably because they weren't planning to do a physical, and they were shocked by the sales. They probably
it irritates me.
but they already had plans to do World and Heist as physical.
Yeah,
so
but at this point,
they
just put all three on a single cartridge.
It would have been nice, but I think partly because they already had the cartridge stuff in production for the other two, and because of the sales are being good for
I still haven't seen the official announcement for Dig and Heist getting hard copies on Switch.
I thought they mentioned it. I thought
they may have, and I missed it, but I don't remember seeing it. But that's my personal vent on that, is that really should have just been a complete anthology. I've also put some more time into Slain Back from Hell. I will say, playing more of it, I'm feeling better about it.
Mm-hmm.
I still think that visually it's a little muddy. That being said, I'm feeling a little better about the format. The format feels a little more like old, like original Castlevania. It's fucking linear. It is. There is no it is just plow till you get to the next save point. That being said, it's a little on the punishing side. It's not like Tiny Barbarian bad, but it's a little on the punishing side. But the respawn is super quick. It gets you right back in the action, and I will say I do feel at times like I am dying unfairly, but that could just be me and the game not quite gelling. But we're getting closer, so there's that. Also,
I get to you.
Little gem that I picked up that I've been starting to put bits and pieces of time into is I've been working a little bit on Inversus or Inversus Deluxe
PC?
On Switch, and it is a clever little fucking game. It's definitely a solid challenge, but the mechanics of the game are fantastic. And I'm going to go super old school reference here. It reminds me a lot of Jezball, like old Windows 95 Jezball.
I've never heard of it.
Look it up. That's what it reminds me of. I know the comparison's not dead on. It's just that's what springs to mind for me when I'm playing this. It's like it feels like if Jezball was a shooter. And I can't tell you how much time I wasted playing Jezball way back in the day.
Well, yeah,
but
I wasn't doing any PC gaming, so that's probably why at that time.
So, but no, it's a clever little game. It's pretty nifty. I mean, it's not super expensive. It's definitely worth the pickup. Also put a little bit of time into. I went on a buying binge. I think I made mention a couple weeks ago. I had a fuck ton of credit on eShop, and I picked up the other Tomorrow Corp games that I hadn't already gotten. And I started putting some time into one of them. I started playing a little bit of Little Inferno, and it is the stupidest thing. It really, like, seriously, it's just like here's a game, light some stuff on fire. That it's mildly deeper than that, but not by much. It's seriously just here, burn stuff, burn more stuff. Oh, you're out of stuff to burn? Buy some more stuff and then burn it. It'll give you more money so you can buy stuff to burn. So it's adorable and it's weird, and I realized that I looked at the clock and I realized I'd been playing it for like an hour and a half. I'm like, what am I doing with my life?
Fire.
Like, I need to stop this right now. This is like, I should not have wasted this much time on what amounts to an interactive screensaver.
But you was having fun. So
I was like, I was still just right at the tail end of my illness, and so I was still a little out of it, and I just, for some reason, my brain zoned out on fire, touch thing to light on fire.
fire.
So there you go. By the way, there's a Switch game that uses the touchscreen. Is Little Inferno. It can be played without, but it honestly works best if you just play it in handheld with the touchscreen. So I'll put that out there for you. In any case, also put a little more time into Rocket League on Switch. I'm still pissed that it's $40, but yes, I bought it anyways because the collector in me won out because I still want my hard copy of something. That will always win out, which means I am going to end up double dipping on snipper clips. At least it's not like the full double dip because I haven't bought the expansion pack for it yet, and I want it. But I will end up getting snipper clips, and I will end up, God damn it, I will end up double dipping on SteamWorld 2. That might be the thing that gets me to play it again.
I hate
Because
double dipping.
otherwise,
Did you
I'm
buy
really,
it? Yeah.
yeah. Because I'm really not compelled at the moment to go back and play it a second time right now. But I'm thinking that maybe having a hard copy will be the impetus that gets me to play it a second time. Also, got super excited last week. I actually got to sit down and play through a whole fucking game front to back.
Which one?
I managed to blitz my way through the Mummy Demastered, and I love.
I had to finish it.
It's
I have
so
to,
good.
Yeah, I have to redo everything because the memory card that it was on corrupted. So I had to take that out. And buy a whole new memory card. So I re-downloaded the game. I just got to start it back from the beginning.
If it makes you feel any better, I can at least speak to the fact that you can sit down, you can finish it in a day. I know because I've done it.
Well, I was at the dinosaur boss. I keep getting my tail kicked by him.
I want to say it's about halfway, 3/4. So.
That was the finished game.
Yeah.
The dinosaur boss is the first one? Or
No, you're right. He was the first one, so you were only about a quarter of the way in.
He's the second one, because I think there was like a spider one or something. It was like the first time.
That's right. The spider was first, then the dinosaur. So yeah, you were at about the halfway mark.
Dang, how many bosses does this game have? Not many?
I think, there's not a lot. I mean, it's a Metroidvania. Think back to Super Metroid. Seriously, there was like 4 mini bosses, and then the end. So, but that being said, I had a lot of fun with it. I will say, personal pain point, though, I don't know if I'd even call it a knock on the game, but it's just for me because I wanted to enjoy it and it made it feel a little more stressful, was the fact that this game will seriously keep you like on the edge of dying constantly. Yeah. Like, you'll hit save points and it will not refill health. Like, the only time your health gets refilled is when you pick up an energy pack, and then you'll go out and you'll start playing again, and then you'll find yourself constantly hovering like 2 health packs above death for the whole fucking game.
Yeah.
And it
It's that
really
rogue.
lays on the
It's
anxiety.
that rogue mentality.
So, but it's solid. It's manageable. I give them all kinds of credit. I love the way they handled player death, because they specifically tell you that you just lost a soldier in combat, and that going back in from the last save point, you are now playing as a different soldier, because the one that died is now undead and possessed, and you've got to go kill him to get your shit back.
Yeah, that's the rogue. That's the rogue like series, and it makes sense if you think
It's
about it. It
fucking
like
cool. I liked it. That was neat. Like, it's not. You're right. It has a minor. It gives it a minor influence from the roguelike genre,
yeah.
but
I mean,
it's
it was
not.
it's just that part. It's just that death part.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's the only component, and that was enough for me for this game. But I had a super fun time playing it. I really did. Um, I wish it was a little less chatty, but at least it wasn't as bad as SteamWorld Dig 2. God, that game talked too fucking much.
And you know, I
Um,
think from what I play of the Mummy Demaster, it doesn't seem chatty.
it's not super chatty, but I could have stood for it to be less chatty than it
It's
was.
weird that the tutorial stuff that like you already did something didn't explain to you afterwards. I'm just like, this is the Grand Theft Auto 5 mistake. Like it gives you a mission to fly, and then you do the mission, and then it wants to teach you on how to fly. Be like, I already did this. Like, what backward stuff did y'all put in this game?
Yeah. So, in any case, but yeah, Mummy Demastered, fantastic. So here's where I'm going to catch a bunch of shit. And I already caught a fair bit of, actually, believe it or not, I don't think I caught as much of it as I expected when I posted it online. But I caved on Corey's recommendation, and I'm going to say I'm not real thrilled with it yet. But
Yeah,
I've
Celeste.
been playing a little bit of Celeste, and I'm serious. I am not in love here. Like, I'm sure that everybody that loved it, you know, got something out of it, and that's great. The bit that I've played of it so far, like, I've played maybe an hour, hour and a half of it, and I'm not in love. Like, part of me is sitting here going, I could probably enjoy it more if I turned on the cripple mode,
Hmm.
but part of me wants to just experience it the way that it's intended to be experienced, but in doing so, I'm not having fun.
The retrials, dying so much, or figuring out the puzzles.
I'm not in love with the fact that there are mechanics that are in here that are not explained that should be. Like, I'm at a part where I'm fairly certain I think I know what the fuck to do, but I'm either not nailing it or I am just wrong. But the
Hmm.
thing is, at this point, I don't fucking know because they don't tell you. And it's like I'm just beating my head on a wall every time I turn it on, and I'm right back at that spot again, going, either I'm doing it wrong or I'm doing it right, but I'm just not doing it well enough. And I don't know, and that fucking irritates the piss out of me. So it's just at this point personal preference. So I don't know what to do with it. It's here. I own it. It's not like I'm going to get my money back on it. But at this point, so far, I'm not in love. That being said, I've not given up on it, and I'm sure I will go back to it. But for right now, I had to put it down and walk away.
That's
So
understandable.
I may, if I put it down and I go back to it in a month with like fresh eyes, I might it might finally click with me, but
I can see
so,
that.
but that's where I'm at the moment with Celeste. So, in regards to that, you can send all your hate mail to you can tweet that to us at world1_1 podcast on Twitter, and you can tell us how much I'm wrong because I don't love Celeste. So,
I think it's
um,
the first perfect 10 for some places, and Shadow of the Colossus is the second. So that's kind of interesting, actually. Two perfect.
Actually, at this point, IGN's doled out 3 perfect 10s on Switch, and Celeste was one of them.
Yeah.
Obviously, Breath of the Wild picked up the first one, and then the second one went to Odyssey, which I'm still going to disagree with Odyssey and say that I can see the appeal, but I don't think it's a 10.
I can see why I got a 10. I mean,
But again, it's
personal.
yeah,
It's a
and that's
preference.
the other thing too is that when it comes to a perfect score, you know, any good review outlet will tell you that it's not saying that the game's perfect, but that the person that played it
Mm-hmm.
could not begin to recommend it enough. Like, yes, it will still have faults, but as an overall piece of art, it stands as a masterpiece.
Right.
So, but in any case, I'm thinking that's most of what I've played this week. Well, or since the last time we talked. But yeah, I've gotten some game time in, and it's been a nice change of pace. Granted, I had to go get some teeth drilled to block out some time for a few things, but what are you going to do? It's only a $3,000 block of time, so fuck it. What's $3,000, right? Who doesn't have that shit laying around?
Right.
So, anyways, so this is your friendly reminder: brush your teeth twice a day and after every meal. Don't forget to floss.
Yep.
So, uh, yeah. Um, news-wise, I can't think of anything honestly that really jumped. No, I take that back. There was some new stuff since the last time we talked, and I had to think about it for a minute here. Um, we did get the announcement finally that the online paid network for Switch is finally coming in September.
Yes.
It's only a year late, but I suspect that come E3 we are going to find out what major online game they're going to attach to that release because
It'll
there's
be
got to be something to
it'll
come
be
with it
mostly
to sell it.
Splatoon 2, I think.
I don't think Splatoon 2 is going to carry it. I think Splatoon 2 at this point is too far back in order to sell that.
I think Splatoon 2 as in because like I think a lot of their free DLC stuff has come to an end.
But at
Um,
this point, that's just saying that here's the game that you've been playing online for free for over a year, and if you want to keep playing it, because clearly we can provide you the service at no
mhm.
charge, but now we're going to charge you for it. Pony up.
But I mean,
I don't see that flying well.
but I think that was the intent. Like they told people that like way even before Splatoon 2 came out.
Yeah,
You
but the
know,
thing
so
is, at this point, with it being this far out from Splatoon 2, they've got to put something out at the same time to get that to carry over and translate into subscription. And I can see one of two things happening at this point. One, E3, they announced that in September, just a couple months later, that they're going to be dropping a Switch port of Smash Brothers from Wii U 3DS. That somehow they're going to combine all the content from that because there was some discrepancy in content, but we'll call it a deluxe port and it'll have everything, including all the DLC and whatnot. Or I would say less likely, but still maybe possible, is that, for lack of a better name at this point, Pokemon Stars hit Switch.
No, I don't.
I
When
still think it's way too early, but
the Pokemon
it,
company would announce something like that, and I don't think Nintendo would, because it looks like it looks like the Pokemon company has kind of taken charge of like making major announcements for that game or that series.
that may be, but I mean, you consider that, that got announced at, Nintendo's E3 presentation.
But
They put them on the screen for it, but still, I would venture to say that
but not for
if
that. But
that's it, they're going to announce a release date at E3.
No, that game won't get announced until next year.
No, and I think you're right. I do.
Like
but
a game that big to be on Nintendo's online thing that early, like in September. No, I think what's gonna happen is that they want to get the kinks and updates and stuff out before they roll out with Pokemon, because they're not gonna leave something that. They're not going to leave something this new that Nintendo hasn't really have like fleshed out and tried. They want to get their feet wet with this.
This shit's a year behind. It better be right as soon as it hits.
Well, yeah, I mean, even though it's been delayed and everything, they want to make sure that they get it right. And trying to have something big as Pokemon on a home console, like they're treating that as like a major player. Like this is a 3DS series being moved to console for the first time as an RPG. Not talking about the Coliseum games or the Tetris one or like all of those side games and stuff. Not talking about that. Like this is a major town for town dungeon, like collecting and everything. Like they're treating this major, and Nintendo wants the Pokemon company to make sure that game is right. And
I'm not saying it's happening. I'm just saying, thinking it out in my head, it's like that is one of the only two things that could be big enough to drop along with the release of this service to get people to start buying.
I don't even think. I think the price alone is what people was going to get it on Nintendo Online. I'm like $20. That's a $40.
Oh, it was $30.
No, it's $20. It's $20 for a whole year. It's $20 for a whole year.
But even still, at $20 though, the thing is if I don't have a reason to play online, then I don't have a reason to buy.
Then you could pay $4 if you want to, or you don't have to pay. You don't have to pay it at all if you're not going to do anything online with anybody.
That's the thing. They want to sell the product, which means you've got to have a reason for people to buy it.
Which is why when you do get it, they're going to discounts, extra discounts, almost like PS Plus, and like PS Plus. That's the extra discounts for any digital games that you buy. Probably when YouTube and stuff come along, like there's going to be some benefits that you could get when you get it, but there's going to be some things that you still could do without having it. So I mean, for $20 for a whole year, compared to $60 that PlayStation and Xbox have to do, and you're still having problems with connections and stuff. Like how many times has PlayStation Network gone down? How many times has Xbox Live gone down? Like you're paying $60 for just Xbox Live to really like use YouTube and Hulu and stuff like that. Like
no, because you can do all that without Live Gold.
Well, yeah, but you have to have Live like Silver or something like that.
Yeah, but that's free.
Well, I mean that's free, but you know,
I keep my subscription to Live Gold just for the free games. That's it.
Well, yeah, and
that's the only fucking thing I do.
And for people who want to do online gaming on the other two systems, like you're forced to have it. There's no other way around it. If you really want to play Destiny or even Ghost Recon or stuff like the Ubisoft games, you have to have live gold.
Yeah.
Because those how those games were designed. At least with Nintendo's, like, if I don't have online, if I'm next to you, I can still do multiplayer because we're doing it locally.
Right.
But for all the online stuff, yeah, $20. That's easy. You spend $20, dude. You spend $20 in cigarettes and party plus more, and that's not good for
Not
your
anymore.
health.
Not anymore, man. Chantix.
Is that the?
Yeah, it's the quit thing.
Ah, okay.
That's been ongoing for a while. I'll give you details on that later, but in any case, but yeah, I'm looking at it going, all the things that I can think of aside from Smash Brothers and Pokemon that would have been great to drop alongside the release of the online network has already been out for, months and months.
Yeah.
Splatoon 2, Mario Kart, these are Rocket League would have been a great one to drop alongside, saying, here's Rocket League. We know you want it on your Switch, and now you have it. And if you want to play online, you're going to pay us $20 a year.
And I think folks will be feel. I think it's easier to be like, oh, $20, that's nothing. Like, people spend more $20 in a month than they do for something that's only once a year. You know, like $20. Like, you get $20 for a birthday gift and be like, well, at least I got live functionality for a year.
Oh, so I'm staring at it, and I completely spaced that I actually put some time into it. I also picked up, and I put a little bit of time into Morphite on the Switch, and I was really hoping to love this game more than I do. It feels incomplete. Like, I'm all for the weird, like, muted, flat art style. I'm okay with that, but fuck me running. This game just feels unfinished, unpolished, and that makes me sad. I tried really hard to love it, but every time I played it, something about it just, like, I would play it and I would go, this is neat, and then I would hit it, and then I would watch it do something going, that feels broken. Why is this broken? Like, weird, glitchy fucking voice work and sound stuff, and, like, things just don't seem to line up right. I wanted to love it more than I could. So, but, shit happens. I at least gave, it pays you money, it takes chances. I gave it a fair shake. I don't know that it's something that I'm going to go back to finish or even try. I may go back and try it again, just knowing that I am no longer dying of the plague and I now have a slightly high tolerance for some things that I didn't a month ago. But, I will freely admit that I do not have high hopes for my feelings in regards to a return trip to Morphite, which makes me a little sad. But, dumbs to breaks, they can't all be winners.
True. It is true.
So, but there it is all the same. So, for anybody thinking about it, think about it really, really hard. I would recommend, if you're giving it some consideration, watch a Let's Play. Like, seriously, watch somebody play that thing for an hour and decide if you could tolerate it. Because if you can tolerate it, you'll probably have some fun with it. It's too unpolished for me. And I can put up with a lot of bullshit before saying I'm out. So, but A for effort, I guess. Like I'm sure there's a really good idea buried in there somewhere.
Hmm.
I just don't know that I'm going to dig hard enough to find it. So, but happens sometimes. But I think that reasonably sums up everything that I've been playing. Um, Other tidbits of news, we now know confirmed that Illumination Studios, most recently well known for their work on the Minions and the Despicable Me series, is working with Nintendo and co-funded by Universal Studios, which everybody saw coming. That there is a new Mario movie in the works.
Yay!
It's a thing. It's happening. You all are just gonna have to fucking live with it.
Yay!
So,
I'm going to see it when it comes out.
yep. And in other fairly big kind of out of the blue, what the fuck did where did that come from news? Nintendo also announced way ahead of the mark here that Mario Kart is coming to cell phones because that's a thing now.
It was bound to
So
happen. So we'll see how
it
it looks
was.
in the future.
Um, I'm not sure how I feel about this honestly. I'm a little torn here because I've already got Mario Kart on a perfectly mobile device called a Switch, and additionally, I I really don't like playing games on my cell phone. Like, I'm sure a lot of people are gonna fucking love it. People that haven't dropped $300 for a Switch to play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, that's gonna be great for you. You're gonna get to get some Mario Kart loving, and I'm super happy for you people. But like, I realized I was talking with somebody the other day, and like, just play a game on your cell phone. And I looked at my cell phone, and I realized I've got two games on there. I've got Dots on there, so I can hand it to my child, and she can play with it and watch the pretty colors and pretty sounds. And I've got AM2R on my phone, and that's it. Like, I don't play stuff on my cell phone. If I'm going to play a game, I'm going to sit down with a dedicated gaming machine and play a fucking game.
True. It is true.
So,
I'll wait for more information on how the game looks. But
I mean, I'm curious to see how they handle it and see, what the finished product looks like.
yes.
If nothing else, I'm curious just to see it. But I don't see myself playing it by any means.
And I think this is for next year, I believe.
It's for some time this fiscal year, which, for anybody that doesn't know, fiscal year does not mean, January to December. Fiscal year runs from like April to March. So,
Yeah.
it's your calendar year offset by about 3 months.
Yeah.
Because, everybody is totally gonna, get excited about when something's out by the end of a fiscal year. So,
Well, we'll see what they do when they show some gameplay. So,
well, that's salty. So here's another thing too. I'm just browsing through the eShop, and the Bayonetta games are up for pre-purchase because those are dropping on the 16th this month. Bayonetta 1 comes in at a reasonable $30 for individual purchase on eShop. Bayonetta 2, $50. So brace yourselves for $80 to get both games.
no, it's if when you buy Bayonetta 2, the price for 3 drops.
You mean
For
for the
Bayonetta
price
1?
for
I'm sorry.
one?
Yeah, Bayonetta
So
1
the price for
drops.
one drops to $10?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a little better, but the thing is they don't seem to actually indicate that anywhere on here.
Well, it's if you buy Bayonetta 1, then Bayonetta 2 price drops.
Yeah,
So
but
if
like I said, it'd be nice if they actually told you that somewhere
they
because
did,
right now it's not listed on the actual shop
right? Because they
where
did
it
the
should be
announcements
listed.
when they did the announcement. They Nintendo put out the reveal on how the pricing system will work,
So,
so that when you
um,
if you buy one, you'll get the other one at a cheaper price.
yeah. But some other stuff that's coming up though that you find folks should be getting excited about. Um, it kind of fell off the radar, and then it's a little back on the radar. But Payday 2 is finally coming out at the end of the month. Um, it's one of those things that did really fairly well on PC, and it's great fun if you have a couple of friends that you can wrangle to play with you. I'm a little curious to see how that pans out on the Switch though, because it's one of those games that you need that coordination to make work, and given that voice chat online on Switch is less than ideal, I'm really curious to see how this pans out. Um,
Yeah, I'm passing on it. It just doesn't interest me. I mean, it's good that it's coming to Switch, but nah, it does nothing for me personally.
on Eddie's recommendation, also coming up on the 15th here, we finally get Zeo Drifter hitting the Switch.
Yay!
Um, and one that I'm personally excited for is because I've wanted to play the fuck out of this, but again, it's one of those things. It's been on PC for a hot minute, but my laptop doesn't run shit, so I haven't spent the money to buy it on PC. But it's finally coming to console where I can play it. Is Owlboy is coming out on the 13th. Um, Price wise, it's a little bit salty. It's coming in about $5 higher than it is on PC, but
1999.
coming in at $25.
Oh, 25.
So PC was 20. You're going to pay an extra $5 for the privilege of playing it on your Switch, but as opposed to anything else, you can pick it up and take it with you. So I think instead of calling it the Switch tax, we need to just start calling it the portable tax.
Well,
So
it might have been programming. They might have to
it
hire
it
more
may
people.
be, but um, but yeah, that's a thing coming up here that I'm looking forward to. From I will full disclosure, I have not gotten to physically play it. That being said, from everything that I've seen on it, and I've done a bunch of digging, it looks phenomenal, and it looks like it's going to be worth your time. And it reviewed extremely well when the PC version hit, so that's something to look forward to. Um, Other than that, I think that's most of the worthwhile news. Um, I'm going to step out of the news realm for a minute here, and I'm going to touch on rumor just for a minute because
Well,
there were two
that
of them
one,
that caught my attention.
that one we might have to save for next episode because I have to leave at the
No, you
minute.
don't.
Yes, I do.
No, I'm only just going to hit on them as bullet points. Rumor one is that Call of Duty Black Ops 4 may be hit and switch when that comes around. I don't know how much credence I'm going to put to that. Rumor two seems to have a little more feasibility. Is that the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy is getting a Switch port? So I'm not going to dig real deep on those. Like I said, I wanted to hit bullet points that these are a couple things circulating in the rumor mill, and at least one of them is worth keeping an eye on. So
I mean, we'll touch on it on Sunday on the next episode because I
yeah,
think more information about the Call of Duty one is
I
kind of
suspect
happening.
within the next week or two we will know more about at least one of those things.
Well, I know Edge magazine has said something about the Call of Duty, but they can't say no more than that. So that's it.
But
That's all I know.
in any case, yeah, you're right. Let's call it a wrap. That's good for this week. As always, you can catch us on our home at shoutengine.com, or you can find us on your platform of choice, either iTunes, Google Play Music, or YouTube, out there on the phenomenal NGR YouTube channel. Make sure you go and give them the obligatory subscribe and like and comment and follow for the notifications and all that shit. You can, of course, check us out on our Facebook page. Hit the like button for all the latest and greatest. I promise I am recovering. There will be more happening on the Facebook page again. I'm not dead yet, but I wouldn't venture to say that I am entirely out of the coma. So, as I slowly find my way back to the world of the living, the Facebook page should be getting a little more active again. Also, make sure you hit up the delightful NGR Facebook page and their subsequent community as well.
Yeah.
So, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. So yeah, that should about sum it up. Other than that, that's a wrap. And boys and girls, I want to again apologize. We're late this week. It's beyond my fault, but it's my fault. Other than that, with any luck, everything should be square and back on track, and we should see you again on Monday.
Yeah. All right, with that, everybody, we'll see you next time on World 1-1 Podcast. Bye.
Peace.